sec.
Okay.
DMRs everywhere.
We are doing the streaming.
It's called
It is live.
It is live.
It is live.
DMRs everywhere.
DMR
All right,
please.
let's
DMRs
see.
for days.
Let us refresh the page. Let's see what's going on.
I can tag you on this.
Is that an external battery pack for your phone?
It's not for anything.
That's kind of cool.
iPod, anything.
That's awesome. I don't know if it's live yet. We are still waiting for the video to start. Huzzah! We are here. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let me shut the door.
I'll be monitoring for the other
Josh is
guys.
closing the door.
Yeah.
Josh is back.
I'm back. Oh man, what
Oh,
a day it's
gosh.
been. Lots of fun stuff.
It's been a busy day, filming a lot of stuff.
Oh,
But welcome to the live show, everybody. Today is Tuesday, I believe the 7th. I was about to say the 6th, but it's the 7th. We have a very fun live show scheduled today. I'm actually pretty excited. We have some special guests.
we do.
Hint, hint. Oh, wait, it's already in the title, so I guess it's not too,
I know I like totally
surprising.
spell it out in the title.
Yeah. So Greg Wong is here, and also Scott Levy. Scott is actually, I just had the pleasure of meeting him, but he's done some really cool stuff. So we're going to bring the special guest here in just a few minutes. But we got some cool stuff going on. We also have a lot of cool sniper rifles.
We have a lot of, we have all the DMRs for pretty much you, me, Greg brought his. Mark doesn't have one because he's not on the DMR train.
Whoa,
He's
mine's
not cool.
being built, but
Being
it shoots
built.
like 45 rounds a second.
Yeah,
It's
45
not a
rounds.
DMR. It's not semi-auto only.
Don't listen to
and-
this guy over
full
here.
auto
Don't listen to
DMR.
this guy over here. He has no idea what's going on.
Yes.
Except for most of it. So.
So yeah, we have a pretty fun live show. It's going to be pretty cool. Before we go into any of that, the crazy stuff, we want to let you guys know of all the cool stuff that we have going on.
Which is a lot.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah,
A lot of
it's
stuff.
A lot of stuff.
So we'll go somewhat quick just because we have so much stuff to talk about and so many cool people. First of all, the biggest thing, today is the last day to use the Holiday 20 and get 20% off on your purchase. And then after that, the 20% is actually going to be gone for a little while. So if there's any order or anything you guys are thinking about getting, today is the last day at midnight. Also, our seasonal giveaway for the holiday season that is going to end tonight, and that's where when you place an order, you got a passcode at the end of completing the order. You enter in the passcode into one of our web pages, and you have a chance to win free stuff. Essentially, it is an online raffle. So that stuff ends today. It's been a great 2013. We thank everybody for that, and then we're looking forward to a new year, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
Definitely, and just to touch on the fact that the coupon is ending, yeah, this isn't one of those like, oh, we're just gonna rename it the next week. Like, no, it's actually gonna be gone. So if you guys need to make orders, like, go do it now. Like, if you got BBs and gas you got to get for your team, now would probably be a good time to order that stuff. But with that being said, we have.
that sounded a lot like a cat. That was very impressive.
Well,
That
I'm
was-
very cat-like in my agility, if you will. But with that being said, we do have a lot of really awesome games that are coming up on the East Coast and West Coast.
Yes.
I'm honestly really excited because I don't know. Am I excited? Should I be excited? Am I going to Operation Reclamation?
Yeah, you should be going.
Then I'm really
both, I
excited
believe.
to go to
Yes.
Operation Reclamation.
Yeah. We can
Oh.
snipe for days
Mm.
with our DMRs,
Mhm.
that are actually semi-only. Mark.
Exactly.
I'm glaring at Mark off camera. You guys
Built
can't see him.
properly.
Yes, Operation Reclamation. Then didn't mean to interrupt you. I'll let you continue.
Yeah, so Operation Reclamation is going to be $30. If you guys want to go, this is going to be in Chesterfield.
Virginia?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I got the city 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, Chesterfield, Virginia, at X Zone Combat Center, which is on a church grounds,
Mhm.
but they have like tons of field area. They just bought, I think, like 20 plus acres or something like that.
Yeah, they're opening it up.
Um,
It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're definitely gonna bring a lot of people out there with us, hopefully, to definitely have a lot of good game time and a lot of fun. Like I said, it is $30, and you can choose from two sides. We have GI Tactical Ed rocking the BFR side,
Yes.
and we have Commander Chaos or Jay in the storefront who is rocking the American side. I don't know if they have a designation like BFR. Or...
Well, I don't know the designation. I know Ed is gonna be like more green colored, and then Ed's gonna be more tan colored. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think that kind of definitely, at least in my mind, because I just did the technical gear heads for that game where
Right.
I built in a loadout for not necessarily a sniper, but it was like a DMR, aggressive but still
Aggressive marksman, kind of.
something like that. Well, I mean that's kind of the role of the DMR, and that's I think kind of the topic and theme of the day. Kind of,
So
because
far, yeah,
snipers and
kinda has
DMRs,
been, yeah.
where when I play the sniper or DMR role, I'm not like in a ghillie suit and just lying and waiting an hour to shoot one guy, just because airsoft doesn't work that way necessarily. So I like engaging targets. So my sniper rifle does have more range than the traditional AEG, but I'm still at the front line, a little ways behind the front line, like 20 to 30 feet behind the front line, and I usually move with the wave and the battlefield. But that extra range is definitely helpful. So that loadout that I did, I'm kind of interested to see the response that people think, because I was kind of
really good. I mean, we definitely have been. We haven't put up any tactical gearheads in a little while since we got back from Irene. We kind of been just going through the holiday motions, if you guys will. But we're definitely gonna be doing more tactical gearheads. I think we're gonna do. We just did one of yours, which I think the kit looked really awesome, and we'll probably be doing one on my setup too for going out there, which I'm excited for. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I definitely am excited to go to the game. And once again, it's an X-Zone Combat Center in Richmond or Chesterfield, Virginia. And now remember, guys, if you are thinking about going into this game, please head over to the website, get your tickets sooner than later, as well. Check the BDU requirements. If you don't have the BDUs, we have a plethora of them to choose from. Find the ones that are going to work best for you. And yeah, just go have a ton of fun and hang out with us. We'll be out there for sure. And then you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I'll take the next one. So that's our East Coast game. So if you guys are on the East Coast or within driving distance of Richmond, Virginia, Chesterfield, Virginia, make sure you guys go out there for that one. The next one, this one is going to be a West Coast event. It's going to be in Northern California, and this is going to be Bob's Rebel Training Camp, Northern Alliance, I believe, or Northern Resistance. My apologies. And so the tickets for that one is going to be about $50. That one's actually filling up pretty quickly. That one's going to be a lot of fun because it's designed more for the newer and younger players, but we're also encouraging the more experienced players to come out. So for example, if you've been playing for a while, or you got all your guns and your gear and your kit, we want you to come out and sign up for the game and have fun. But when you come with a teaching mindset.
Yeah,
there's a train. But that's the one term I really like saying for the experienced player, teaching mindset of when you're going out there. You're not going out there just to wreck everybody. You're going out there and you see this guy who you can tell he's out there for the first time. He's nervous. He doesn't know how to necessarily aim or lean around a corner. Help him out. Give him a few pointers and stuff like that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lunch provided. And then I think the thing I'm most excited about is we actually have military and law enforcement instructors that are current and active that are going to be there giving actual training sessions in terms of airsoft experience and tips and actual military tactics as well. So some of their names they requested us not to say because they are literally active, but just to give some of their experience. One of them is a current law enforcement officer. He was a former U.S. Army senior drill sergeant, former airborne instructor.
Drill sergeant instructor.
Drill sergeant instructor. Thank you very much. Former airborne infantry with combat deployments in Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm, NATO, and all over the place. The other is Staff Sergeant Eric, over 15 years of combat experience, currently assigned with U.S. Army Special Operations. Don't have any more information than that.
He worked with MARSOC, Naval Special Warfare, USCG Counterterrorism, and the narcotics team for them, which is honestly a very impressive resume. If you're not familiar with any of those organizations, they do they stop bad guys from doing bad things all around the world. So you got to be a pretty bad dude to join one of those things too.
It's nuts. So I feel really lucky that we're going to be able to go out there and actually meet some of these guys, and that they're going to teach us. Dude,
if anything, if nobody showed up and I got to go and just pay the $50 for the training, I would not be mad at all. I'd be like, okay, cool, let's do this. So, from a pure element, if you're an airsofter and you want to know more about military tactics, $50 for some training from some really legit dudes is okay, sure, no problem. What's a Magpul class for pistols? 500, 600,
right?
Crazy amount of money. So if this is something you're interested in, and you're a new player and you just want to know more about airsoft, that's what we're doing this for, to come out, hang out, and the food is going to be amazing too. I didn't get to go last time, but did you get to go?
I did not, but I saw pictures.
We're both newbies to the food, but like salmon, teriyaki chicken,
ribs or stuff,
all kinds of crazy good food. So and also that kind of is incorporated into the cost of the ticket. I mean, it is a $50 ticket with X-Zone being $30. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, what's the difference? You're going to get food. You're going to get fed. You don't have to go anywhere to get the food. It'll all be there on site.
Definitely.
Not to mention 100,000 square feet of indoor playing facility is What?
So just to be clear, too, the training session, there is going to be, the training session is not going to be happening all day. There's going to be smaller training sections throughout the day, so it's not going to be the majority of the day. Most of the day will be gameplay of us just shooting each other like crazy. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm very excited that we get to go out to these events, and I'm excited just to be traveling to these other fields that, like, I've heard a lot of good things about X Zone and Game Pod, and I kind of want to play at Balahawk when I'm out in Virginia. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I mean, that place, I've seen photos of that field, images. I'm pretty good friends with Christopher Ratton. Shout out to all you guys over there. And I just, I would love to get out there and play at that field. That field just simply looks so staggeringly amazing. So, to move on from that, though, if you guys definitely want to get out and play this year, we're going to be having a lot of games throughout the year, so make sure to stay tuned to GI. We'll be giving you guys a ton more information. I saw you wrote down something on there, and I was curious.
I think we can go.
What did you want to touch on a certain topic on that?
No, I was going to let everybody know what we were doing on that.
Oh, okay,
for the 4 custom guns.
I wanted to just talk about the movie. I mean,
we can just talk about the movie. Okay, just so you guys know what we're talking about. This was a little bit later down the line, but we'll jump to it now. We're talking about The Lone Survivor, the movie, the film. We actually just saw the movie in Hollywood. There's like a pre-screening. That movie is phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely amazing movie.
I honestly am probably gonna have to see it. I'll probably see it twice before it comes out in theaters, which sounds crazy, but like seriously, the movie is. It's such a well done movie, and it kind of really shows, the guys and what they went through and all the challenges and stuff that are presented to the military on a daily basis. And it was just really inspiring. Like I came out of there and I was just like, that was really like interesting story. Like it touched my heart. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, that was tearjerker at the end. There.
That was totally my thing. That like it is definitely one of the best war movies I've ever seen. It is by far the most intense war movie I've ever seen, just because the title kind of says obviously what's going to happen and all that. So,
and if you're not familiar with the actual mission itself, I urge you to go read the war note or whatever it would be for Operation Red Wings. If you want to know more about what actually went down with those guys, go read about it, because it really is an interesting story, and just the bravery and the courage that those guys had to even go out there and do what they were doing. So.
And it was so intense that, at least in my mind, the Navy SEALs of, this generation, in my mind, that's the heroes that, I idealized, and, knowing what's going to happen and then seeing it happen in the film and stuff like that. And then the thing that got me is knowing that this happened in real life, you know, so it was really hard to watch, but definitely something you have to see nonetheless. Amazing, amazing movie. And then one of the things that we wanted to do is we are building 4 custom guns based on that film and that event and all that too. And then one thing we want to make very, very clear is that we completely respect and completely look up to all the men and women of the armed forces. So for what we're doing for these 4 custom guns, we are donating 100% of the proceeds and profits of all those 4 custom guns that we're going to be building to the Lone Survivor Foundation, which is the foundation that was created by Marcus Luttrell, the lone survivor that actually, he went through this. This was the actual guy. So out of respect for him and all of the men and women of the armed forces, these guns, we're not going to be seeing any money of it. This is just straight to that foundation, because we were very moved by the movie and the story, and we feel like it's something that we want to help out with a little bit more too. So just to be very clear on that, because we did post up some pictures and some people had the same thought and feeling of like, I'm not sure how we feel about an airsoft retailer who, yes, we're a business, we're trying to make money, is marketing a story like this. We agree and we understand, and that's why we want to make sure it's going to be 100% of the proceeds going directly to that foundation. That's very important for us, and that's something I wanted to clear up from the get-go, because the guns are not on the website yet. We're working on them. They're going to be painted soon, so it's very accurate to at least what we've seen from the film. But yeah, just to let everyone know what's going on with that. Otherwise, the guns are awesome.
I know. I'm definitely excited to be able to step up as somebody in the airsoft community and as a company as a whole, I should say, to really just give back to those men and women who do sacrifice the most for us out there on a daily basis, to be able to come home and play fake war games, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's an honor for us to be able to do that, and I think that the fans will really appreciate it. And anybody who buys that gun out there, I hope to see it either on the field or up on a mantelpiece somewhere, because there's a lot of I guess you would say, history that kind of goes with
Yeah.
that small little piece of
It's
item.
almost like a collector item,
Exactly.
just
Yeah, it
like
really
an
is.
honor,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, you come along and like, that's the gun from the Lone Survivor movie.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on from that, we do have a little bit of extra promotional giveaways. Not really super big stuff, just kind of stuff that's happening. GI.
I would say it's pretty. I mean, we have 5 giveaways that's going on
actually,
right
the
now.
last one's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're pretty cool actually. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah,
They're not bad.
So I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. So the first one I already mentioned before, but we're doing the seasonal giveaway that ends today. If you have a passcode, make sure you enter that in because that's going to disappear tomorrow. So use that today.
Yes.
So that giveaway has been ongoing, so that's nothing new. We are doing a Tumblr giveaway as well too, a Google Plus giveaway. So like that's pretty simple. You go on a Google Plus page and do a review from us, and then you're automatically entered in to win. No, what is it?
Elite Force.
No. It's it's the Knights Armament PDW Full Metal.
Gotcha.
That's for that one. The Tumblr is an Elite Force 1911 TAC in tan. There's also a product review giveaway that we're doing away, where we're giving away another Elite Force 1911 TAC in tan. And the reason why we're doing specifically the Google and the product review giveaway is the holiday season just ended. So we know all of you guys just used our website and got all those Christmas presents, and you guys got a lot of new products. We really want and need your input on it. So to give you guys a little more incentive, if you guys do any of that until February 14th, you will automatically be entered in a chance to win. The Google review, I believe you can only do once, but product reviews, if you just bought like 10, 20 products, just review all 20 of them and you're entered to win 20 times. So look that stuff up on our website and you have a chance to win. Very, very cool stuff.
Another thing I want to touch about the reviews aspect. I mean, if you guys do buy items from our website and you guys aren't reviewing, just remember that if you went to look for a product and you couldn't find information about it from reviews, that's kind of a cycle. If you guys review each other's products, it allows Airsoft as a community to be able to more informed about what to buy and what not to buy and stuff like that. So if you buy new products, you just got them, make sure you guys do a review on them, stress test them, run them through the paces, and let us know how they worked out for you. And then we're incentivizing that by being able to give you guys guns and gear or whatever we can, when you guys do those reviews. So we appreciate it. Keep up the good work to you guys that do reviews. If you guys don't, start doing it. It's really helpful for us. And
yeah, definitely completely agree. And I think the honesty is really important too. If there's something you liked or didn't like about a product, that stuff, we even want to see and we want to know. And especially on the Google review, if you guys are reviewing our website and your experience, let us know. We go through those and we read those. And so if there's an issue you guys ran into or something that, was confusing or something, let us know, please. And so we know we can go in and, hey, that's something we can try to improve and work and fix on and stuff like that. I mean, that's something we just always do. The other giveaway, I'm actually super excited about.
Save this one. It's all you, man.
I like this one. There's a game, if you guys are not familiar, called Breach and Clear, and I believe initially it was an app and just a mobile game, but they're trying to get it on Steam. And essentially, this game, it's an action shooter. I like to say like a puzzle. It's not really a puzzle game, but it's very.
It's kind of like a semi real-time strategy game with kind of like board game puzzle elements. Too. I mean, it's like a top-down perspective where you control your own little squad. You move through. Everybody's got certain timers. You can flashbang rooms, go in and clear. It's just like if you want to be the most tactical operator person ever, like that's the kind of game you might want to take some inspiration from.
It's so detailed though, because you can move each guy like one step and then time how long it takes them to get there, and there's like full stats of like you can get a gun and upgrade him and upgrade his skills and stuff like that. A lot of the gear and the kit, and there's like an AFG. They actually call it an AFG. It's very, very accurate. So I mean, the mobile game, it's not even too expensive. It's just a few dollars, but we are doing a giveaway. If you comment, like, and share on our Facebook page on that post, we've been doing it all this week, and we're going to continue it. You'll automatically be entered in a chance to win. And so there's going to be 5 versions or five copies of the game that we're giving away. So I have over like 800 stars on that game. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very addicted to that. Like I remember one weekend I spent like 4 hours. I'm just like, oh my god, this is so awesome. So it's probably like the most common game I play on my phone, and so a lot of fun, but definitely really, really cool. But otherwise, let's maybe try to answer some questions before we move on, just so we're not completely neglecting you guys out there. Okay, here's a question from Killer Taco Gaming. I have a question. How much do you think someone should spend on a gun after upgrades? I'm guessing you're talking about how much you want to spend on upgrades, I imagine.
Spend on a gun after upgrades. How much do you think someone spend on a gun afterwards? I'm assuming you're talking about like buy a base gun. How much should you be able to spend on upgrades? I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
I think it always depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you want a gun with like a really solid rate of fire, really reliable, and let's say your budget is like $200, you can start off with, let's say, like a Lancer Tactical and throw internals into it, which is not what I would recommend. For $200, you can get like a KWA CQR, which is really reliable out of the box, shoots like 18 BBs a second out of the box with a normal 9.6 volt battery. So I mean, if that's the scenario that you're in, that's what I would recommend. But now, if you're also talking about like going above and beyond the industry standard of like you want a gun to shoot 30 BBs a second, or you want it to shoot like a super high FPS, that's a different story, because now those internal upgrades are designed for a specific purpose,
right.
and the price definitely changes. So if you're going to upgrade any gun, I would definitely recommend, I think, like a VFC base M4 is one thing that we all, like the Echo and Platinum, I think
I think a lot of the times, a lot of the times people will tend to choose metal lowers that are specifically traded or in a certain style of gun that they like. So, they'll choose a gun that like has a really nice trade, like Troy, nice armament, whatever kind of trades you like. The people I feel like tend to mostly get those kind of guns and then soup them up even more so. And it kind of comes back to that idea of like, if you were to build a Ferrari engine in your garage, would you want to drop it into a Honda body? Probably not. So if you're spending a lot of money in your gearbox, it would be cool to definitely have a nice outer body. So I always recommend, if you do plan on like, hey, I got a lot of money and I just kind of want to get crazy with my gun, buy a base that like you like the trades of, and then go crazy from there, because you can really turn any M4, I'm assuming an M4 platform, into pretty much anything you want. I mean, a DMR.
Since you said that, let's start pulling some of the snipers. If you want to grab my sniper really quick.
What did this start out as again?
So I just did tactical gearheads with this gun for Operation Reclamation. This is my personal DMR sniper. I call it more of a DMR. That's Josh's. That's the Polar Star, which is amazing.
That's pretty neat.
Yes, it's very, very neat.
It's all right.
And so, with that, talking about customization, this started off as a KWA SR5, which was ironically a CQB gun.
Probably the most CQB gun that KWA offers.
I think it was, yeah. And then I had too many CQB guns, so I was like, I want to make it a DMR, and so I did. So I like the fact that M4s are customizable and you can do stuff like that. Like if you have like an M4 or G36, you can. I'm sorry, an AK or like a G36, you can, but the parts available and the difficulty of it is definitely a lot higher. But yeah, I definitely like this gun.
And a lot of people ask, why do you guys always do M4s? Why is that the most of the customs that we see? And it's simply because of the modularity of an M4. I mean, there's not many other guns in the world that I can think of that you can customize so well to fit so many different, whatever operation you're going to or whatever kind of playstyle you have. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like people are always asking us why that is, and it's just simply because of how dang good the freaking M4 platform is. I mean, you can build anything off of them. So, and just really quick to touch on this one, this is started out as a G&G SR25 base, and as you can see, it's taken on a bit of a life of its own. This is the Polar DMR I took to Irene. Really great gun, a lot of awesome stuff, and a lot of fun kills. I'm really excited to just be sniper bros for a second with you and go just
I didn't
just
think about
get that guy out there like, I don't know, let me try, like
I didn't think about that, but like Operation Reclamation, if we're out there, just be like two snipers, just
I mean, because I have to play on GI Ed's team because we're both from England, so it's kind of like allegiances were already sworn well before the game was even, you know what I mean? So Ed, if you're watching this, you already know, buddy, we're coming. Oh, we're coming.
Oh man, I'm stoked. Oh man, I can't wait for that game. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. You could spend, honestly, as much money as you want on upgrades. I think it just kind of comes down to what you want to build for yourself, what you find cool.
Yeah. Why don't we try to answer your questions for the next like 5 minutes or so, and then we'll bring in our special guests.
Yeah, let's touch on one last point really quick. We have a mystery box coming along that is probably one of the coolest mystery boxes I think we've done in quite some time. Well, actually, no, the Polish one was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I guess this one for me I really like because of its affordability and what you could potentially win. That's really awesome. We could say the whole thing, right?
I believe. Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay, we are going to be doing a minigun mystery box. Now I know what you guys are all thinking. A minigun, yeah, minigun, right? Small. No, minigun like 5 barrels,
$3,500.
Get to the chopper style minigun.
Yes.
Crazy huge, awesome, 3,000, whatever those things cost. Minigun.
It is the classic army version.
It is the classic army version of the minigun. So if a minigun is something you're interested in, make sure you stay tuned to the website because the mystery box should be going up in the next couple of days or so, somewhere in there. Do you want to? Can we set a price? You think?
Yeah. It's not 100% set, but it's supposed to be sub 100, hopefully as low as $50 around there. So imagine
Right.
you can get a mystery box for $50 and potentially get a minigun. So don't quote me on that price because
That's like-
it's not finalized yet.
That's like
so it
at
might
least
be
a
more.
100% return.
Well, even if it was $100, like you get $100 and you get a $3,500 mystery,
Yeah.
that's mystery box minigun.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
that's gonna be nuts. So it's gonna be kind of our like kind of end to 2013. Welcome to 2014.
Give
It's-
back to the customers.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, and
Yeah.
so there's going to be a lot of them. I anticipate they'll I know past minigun mystery boxes have sold out in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Especially
if
at
you
a
guys,
$50 price point. I mean, holy cow. Like, I was like, hey, maybe I'll call my grandma and have her order one just in case.
yeah, and you can order multiple. So like I
Yeah.
know one of the guys that won one of the like highly custom M249s for the black cards. He bought like I think 3 mystery boxes. So up
Yeah.
your chances to get it and stuff
Exactly.
like that. But even if you don't get the mystery or the mystery box, I keep saying that.
I know.
Even if you don't get the mini box, you're still guaranguared to
The
get some
minigun.
other cool stuff.
The
That's it
minigun.
again.
You said
I did it again. Oh
Mini
my
box.
god!
Just a little box shows up. Damn it.
We're not that mean. We're not that mean. Or are we?
A mini box to hold the minigun.
That'd be Irish. And then there's a mini redemption, and then we'll actually send you the minigun. That's
Exactly.
probably what will happen.
We should, we should do? We should send out a mini, super miniature model of the minigun and be like, you won! And then they call us like, did I really win? Like, yes, you did. We're sending you the big ass minigun.
That'd be hilarious. I don't know. That would if I saw that, I'd be kind of like. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'd be mad and then happy and too many emotions going on all at the same time.
Somebody did ask what rail is on this Polar Star DMR. This is actually the Daniel Defense MFR rail in 12 inches with a riser mount attached to the top of it. So just to answer that question really quick.
Cool.
So,
I'm going to answer another question from militarygames.com. ASCU pros and cons. I don't know if you asked that because it's in this gun. I absolutely love it because it's the Airsoft Systems Control Unit. It's kind of like a MOSFET. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the thing about it too is it changes the control trigger system or the mechanics of how it works. So instead of a traditional AEG, the way it works is it's a trigger switch. So when you pull the trigger, you complete the contacts and then the electricity flows and gun fires. With the ASCU, let's say this is the trigger, and when you press pull the trigger like this, it kind of rotates on a hinge, and so it's kind of like a hammer. The ASCU, there's literally a little red button, at least on the Gen 1 that I have in here, that when you pull the trigger, it presses that button. And when you press the button, the gun fires. So it's a
Sounds like
super
like a mouse
definitive.
click almost, pretty
That's
much.
exactly what it is. So
yeah.
like right now, this is safe and clear and all that, but it's like you can't hear it, but it's like click, 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 click.
Yeah,
And so when
that's
I'm
the same
shooting,
thing with the Polar Stars have a
Stars,
very similar system. So you can almost short stroke the pulls if you want to by doing that kind of stuff. So you can have a really, really light trigger pull.
it's super great.
Yeah.
And so I absolutely love the ASCU. I believe the Gen 2 is out and the Gen 3 is either out or coming out very soon. I've had no negative effects to it. I've modified mine so it's a shorter trigger pull and that it's semi-automatic only. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's a good part, and it's nice that is just a drop-in part because some MOSFETs are a little bit more challenging. You do have to take apart the gearbox, but definitely something that I like and I would recommend for sure.
Frodo the Bando, I will definitely give Bill on the cells for it. Props for being awesome at his job. That is no problem. I will relay the message personally and give him a handshake for you. So.
And you know what? I don't even know why. You're saying that Bill is doing an awesome job, but I just want to talk about Bill for half a second.
Oh.
You guys are not familiar. Bill is a customer service rep that's on the phone that has lots of Airsoft experience and that has a lot of actually phone experience that helps out customers. He was a regular customer at our store for years. That when I worked at the store, he would come in all the time, and we would talk and we would hang out. And what I wanted to get across with even that quick shout out to him is that this is how Airsoft GI works.
Yeah.
We find customers, we find airsofters that come in, hang out with us, and talk to us, go out and play with us. And then maybe there's a certain part like, hey, do you have any job openings? And we're like, yes. You get an interview tomorrow. And then if the fit is right, naturally, we hire him. And Bill is a great example of that because
it sounds like a very similar story. I feel like someone else in our job industry here may have done that.
Well, that's how a lot of us work, here at the company,
Yeah.
or how we got here. It's the fans, the guys that are watching the YouTube channels and Facebook and stuff like that. That's just how Airsoft GI works. And luckily enough, I've been here long enough to see that progression happen, and then seen enough, really good employees like Bill. And so definitely big shout out to Bill. I know he's doing an outstanding job, and a lot of the new guys that even we picked up in 2013.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Our company is growing a lot, and a lot of good new bloods coming in.
And that's all thanks to the people like you guys out there who are buying products and keeping us afloat. I mean, we always appreciate the business, and adding new employees is something that we strive to do more so we can increase increase the experience, the buying experience for you guys, as well as just having a bunch of really cool guys to hang out with on a daily basis. I mean, work, honestly, for me is just coming and hang out with my friends for 8 hours a day and just making sure we get stuff done. It's just really, honestly, more of a friendship thing here, and we all go out to lunch together and hang out. So I guess a little insider in the company, but we're all just super good friends. You know, it's just we all play Airsoft. It's the passion, you know.
I spent 2 hours, you know, in the back with Ross with this gun and all decked out in like a banshee plate carrier and stuff like that. And, you know, we're filming, we're working very hard. You know, just like, I don't know. It's really cool. So I just wanted to make that point really quick.
Ranger Ninja D, he said, what scopes do you guys have on your rifles? On the rifle you just saw, the Polar Star DMR that I was holding has a Vism sight on it. I don't know off the top of my head, but it does have an integrated laser, but I always have trouble remembering the Vism names because they're like 4x32 or whatever it is. What do you run on yours?
So I'm still up in the air. This is not my scope. I just want to be clear. The gun's mine, but this scope is the marketing department's. But this is a variable zoom scope by Aim Sports. And this is something that I talk about in the Tactical Gearheads a little bit, that scopes are definitely good if your gun can support the amount of accuracy and the range for it, but the variable zoom is, in my mind, very important because there's times when the guy may be really close and you don't need that 4 times magnification. So I'm a big fan of flip-to-side magnifiers or like the canted 45-degree red dot sight and stuff like that, but I like when it's all in one unit. That right now the scope is at 1.5 and then I twist it like that and now I'm at 4 and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So that's the scope that I have. I really want to pick up a Vism scope. That's ideal in my mind.
Honestly, Vism for the price is you're basically getting real steel rifle scopes for the price of Airsoft. It's like, honestly, is the only way I could describe it. Like, the quality is simply amazing. You know, they've been a sponsor of GITV for quite some time, and we chose them because they clearly make some of the best products for scopes in the market right now. So, especially for Airsoft affordability. So, with that being said, it is 5 o'clock. We should probably get these super awesome guests on the show.
Yes.
I'm going to step out so we can make a little room. I'm going to grab one more chair.
Perfect.
And we will get the special guests on the show. So, Greg, if you want to come and do some introductions. Greg Wong in the house, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Do you want to Skype me questions if you see any good ones, Josh?
Yeah, let me grab one more.
Sounds good.
Sweet. Now we're getting another chair.
Oops, let me go over here. And then Scott, if you want to join us around over here next to Greg, Josh is going to grab you a chair right now. So Greg Wong, everybody. Greg Wong. Want to say hi?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Greg, why don't you introduce yourself, just in case nobody, I mean, of course everybody knows who you are, but just in case that one person.
There's always people who don't know who I am. Okay, so in case you guys don't know, my name's Greg Wong, also known as Spartan117GW. I have a YouTube channel, just Spartan117GW. Go ahead and look it up on YouTube. Basically covers gear reviews, airsoft guns. Been dabbling a little bit in real steel, but it's pretty much a channel dedicated to all the stuff that I like, including video games as well. But I just got out of the Army, did 6 years active, was 82nd Airborne, then was in 78th Sigma Battalion, and then I was in 112 Sigma Battalion, which is a communications unit in USASOC. And then, but yeah, just finished that, I'm switching the reserves, but more, other than that, I'm basically kind of free to roam the earth as I please now, which is awesome. And then, let's bring Scott in here. Now, this is the real special guest. You guys might recognize him. If you guys have played games like Medal of Honor Warfighter, he plays Stump, which is the main character of Warfighter. He's also been he is Stump, and he's also been involved with Army of Two, obviously.
Yes.
And he's also been involved with the Battlefield franchise. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, Scott Levy. Yeah, and I played all those people that you just said. Stump in Warfighter and Pike in Army of Two. And I was in the Castle of Glass video based on the song that they did for the Linkin Park did for Medal of Honor Warfighter that some of you might have seen. It's got like 66 million views, so somebody saw it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, a couple people out there.
Somebody might have seen it.
But yeah, Scott, you were telling me that you were a Marine and
That's
that you've been involved with a lot of film and then movies and a lot of stuff that just kind of, a lot of it sounds like it relates to military in theme one way or another.
I'm sure a lot of military stuff.
Awesome, and yeah, we're just really happy to have you here. You know, we were talking Battlefield, and I'm a huge fan of this series. And why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've done, maybe some of the stuff that you really like or anything that really stood out?
Well, with Battlefield, I did the Battlefield 4, the voiceover for Battlefield 4 Second Assault, the DLC. Some of you guys have probably seen that as well, hopefully, and heard it. because it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I served in the Marine Corps, and I've been in the business about 17 years. I started out doing audio post-production for George Lucas, and then sort of transitioned into acting. And then after a while, I guess the obvious thing would be to transition into doing military stuff for films, which I really enjoy. I've done a lot of commercials and music videos and movies and TV shows. I'm starting on my 4th game next week, another EA game, and I just finished one. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but
You're allowed to talk about it. You
Am
can
I
touch
allowed?
it. I don't know. I'm just trying to
Well,
get
you say so, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
It's called The Devil's Third, and it's from the producer who came out with Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive. This is like his newest, and this thing's been in the works apparently for like 5 years. And this is the year it's finally coming out. It's almost done, and I play a Delta operator in that game.
Nice. Can you tell us a little bit about the game, what it's about, and maybe when it's coming out or anything like that?
No, there's no word. I think they're gonna announce it at the E3 this year. But the basic backstory, as far as I know, is it's sort of like if any of you guys saw the movie Gravity, when the satellite explodes, right, and then it causes the space debris and the rest of them explode, right? So it's a situation like that. And then some country launches an EMP, and World War III gets started. But this time, World War III has to be fought conventionally because it's no electronics. So they're using like propeller planes and cool stuff like that.
But it's like in modern day.
But it's in modern day.
That's kind of interesting. That's an interesting
It's pretty
concept.
cool.
That sounds really
Yeah,
fun.
I dig it.
You're gonna have CAG the air assault with like propeller planes and like jump out.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like a cool.
CH
Back to the basics
back
and
to,
then just
yeah.
the mechanics
back
of
to
it.
what, C-47s was the original aircraft they used on D-Day. I think it was a C-47.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm stoked to play it. So it should be fun.
Definitely really cool. So it sounds like you've done a lot of really cool stuff with the movies, video games, and military and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of surprised that you actually haven't had a chance to play Airsoft.
I know, right?
And it sounds like it's
I'm so
right up your alley.
I know. I did. I gotta say, I did. I played paintball a million years ago when I was in high school, when it was like brand new, and I loved it. And then I joined the Marine Corps, and I would play with some of the other guys every now and then. But for some reason, like the airsoft thing just kind of, went right over. So now here I am, and I'm ready.
Yeah, definitely. So
they
were actually just at our retail store and firing a bunch of guns. So now that you've kind of gotten a crash course on some of the electric and the gas guns as a new player, what do you think?
I think it's amazing. The technology is incredible. The one that he had me on, the gas one, right? I mean, it's the same weight as my M4 that I have at home, and it feels the same, and it has the same recoil. Like it's shocking.
Yeah,
like going from paintball, I'm sure has come a long way too, but I wasn't there. So going from where I was in paintball to where you guys are in airsoft now is like light years. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked. I can't wait. Can't wait to play.
Yeah. We're actually all going to go out on Friday, and we're going to give them another crash course on gameplay. So it should be a lot of fun. But then, Greg, I see you got something in your hands.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
So I was at Faded Giant, and the guys from Z-Shot were there, and I wanted to do a review because they had this gun out there.
That's so
It was
pretty.
The Ares M110, which is the standard issue sniper rifle for the United States Army, and I believe some guys in MARSOC are running this as well. It's a 7.62 DMR platform, and what's great about it is it's a very familiar package, of course, if you're familiar with the M16 or M4 weapons family. Essentially the most modern version of the Stoner AR-10, essentially. But it has a lot of cool features: ambidextrous, bolt catch, ambidextrous mag release, ambidextrous safety selector, adjustable length pull stock, full-length rail system, flip-up sights. Oh, go ahead, mess with it. As you can see, I literally just came from the retail store, so like this, and this, I literally just added to it. Mags are hard to find. The gun is almost even harder to find right now in the market. There is the SR25 version, which has the M4 collapsible stock, and I believe the barrel is not quite as long. But yeah, this is my current configuration. It's a pretty sick rifle, and I can't wait to use it.
Yeah,
I used it at Ballahek too. It was pretty fun, and the trigger and the electronic gearbox and everything, It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I like it. And then, so you mentioned Faded Giant. So I want to answer some questions really quickly, but I'm sure you have a lot of good stories for Faded Giant, so maybe you can share some in just a moment. But we got a question from Drunk One Monkey, and the question was, is your G4 line LiPo ready? Our G4 line that is OEM by QnA is not 11.1 LiPo ready. You can use 7.4, but the FMG4, the Full Metal G4 line that is OEM by Lonex, that is recommended to use an 11.1. So hopefully that clears it up. And then Scott, we got a couple questions for you as well.
I know. I'm reading them right now. It's kind of cool.
Let me just so we can say it out loud so everyone can see you. From Kilo 2 Airsoft, Scott, where were you deployed?
I never deployed. I got out in '92. I was in during Desert Storm, and by the time I was up to speed, I was a Stinger gunner. By the time I was up to speed and ready to go and everything, they were like, "The war's over," and I was like, "The war's over. I just got here." So, yeah, that was kind of a bummer. I was that guy, you know.
And now the party's over.
That's what I do, and so now I get to do it on TV. So go me.
Yeah, definitely. Here's another one for you, Scott, from Dutch Sniper 270. What was your favorite game that you voiced over?
Favorite game that I voiced over would have to be Warfighter. Just being a part of like the Medal of Honor franchise has been such an honor, no pun intended.
That took me a second.
I know, it wasn't even a pun, but anyway, it was, and it still is, and especially being picked to be in the Castle of Glass video, which it shows so much respect and gratitude toward our troops, especially special operations. I was listening to what you guys were saying about Lone Survivor, and it has the same feel. If anyone hasn't seen that video, do yourself a favor and immediately go check that out on YouTube. And see Lone Survivor as well, but definitely check out the Castle of Glass video because it's got that. There isn't that. Back in the day, when they were fighting World War II, all the movies glorified our military and our troops. And was very respectful to them, and there were 10 movies coming out a month. Now we get like one a year. If we're lucky. Last year we had Act of Valor, whatever, but we don't. It's not a consistent. That's
always happening.
And it's a bummer. It's a bummer for those of us that's our line of work, and it sucks just for the whole country all around. So we got to support these things when they do come out, so they'll keep making them.
Definitely. No, actually, I have a question because I'm a little curious myself. What is the voice acting process like? I imagine like it's a studio and you go in and you have lines, or maybe you can shed a little more light on that for like some of the video games. Yeah,
well, for me, I do the mocap and the performance cap as well as the voiceover. So
can you just explain that just in case
Sorry. Yeah. That's the motion capture. I'm sure everybody's seen it. Like when you see the making of Avatar or whatever, you wear it looks kind of like a scuba suit with little glowy balls, right? And then for the performance capture, they put the same but smaller dots on your face, and then you wear a helmet that has 4 cameras, one here, one here, one here, and they're basically watching every expression that you make, and the dots are. This is way above my pay grade. It goes into a computer and the magic things happen. And I have no idea how.
And then it was
people much smarter than me take care of that part. So we go in and we have a script, and the director tells us their vision for that particular scene. We go in and we do the motion of it, but we're also doing the voice as a scratch track at the time, so that later, like you said, we're actually going to a voiceover booth afterwards, which is a couple months later after the animators come in and do all their supernatural magic as well. And then we go in and sometimes we're able to watch it, which is nice in the voice booth. We can watch our performance, we can hear it, and we just try to replicate that, but in a under the best possible conditions for audio.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So we can honestly really say that some of these characters, you are these characters, because it's your emotion, your facial expressions, your voice, and all that. That's so cool.
Soup to nuts.
Yeah. That's awesome. I don't know.
It's an honor. Honestly, it's pretty amazing.
And actually, you know what? Here's another question for you, Scott, because this was my first question from S.A. Nicholas. Mr. Levy, can you elaborate on your involvement with Mr. Lucas and Star Wars? That was my first question as a nerd.
No, that's a good question. Yeah, that was my first job out of school. I went to Full Sail University for audio engineering as well as film production, and that was I totally crazy lucked out. They were looking for audio engineers who also had film degrees because Spielberg was gearing up for Jurassic Park 2, Lost World, and the placement department got my, I got very lucky because I was, like I said, fresh out of school. And I got the job, and I got to work with Spielberg on that. And then we did Contact, which was another amazing
I love that movie.
Right?
Yeah.
So underrated.
That was,
so
no,
good.
yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people, they were like, they didn't understand it. It was weird. I was like,
yeah,
I liked it. It was intense.
It was.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, boom, straight from that to Titanic, which obviously everybody knows a little bit about that film.
Yeah.
Still working with Jim Cameron, which was another dream come true. So, yeah, and then I did a little bit of Private Ryan and a little bit of Episode 1. And then I left, because I was like, I could stay here and do this, and it is a dream job, and I'm probably an idiot, but I love acting, so I'm going to go give it a shot.
Nice.
You want to be in front of the camera.
They're both great places to be. There's much worse places you can be in life.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a very impressive resume. That sounds like so much fun, just being involved in all these different really cool, fun projects. That's definitely awesome.
Amazing. It's been amazing. What a ride. I feel lucky.
For sure.
We have so many good questions.
Yeah, these are come pretty quick, so it's hard to keep up with all of them. I have another one over here for Greg. Yeah, this is Josh. He relays the questions to us because sometimes it's hard to go through all of them.
I know, they're kind of scrolling.
From Ben Kovala. I'm probably saying that wrong, but hey, Greg, what is the most fun milsim operation you have been to? And then maybe you can tell us some war stories about that same operation, or maybe even Faded Giant, just because I would love to hear them.
Let's see. I think my favorite milsim operation is probably Faded Giant. The AO, it's a decommissioned nuclear processing facility. So, it's got everything in there. It's even got that thing that Homer Simpson puts his arm into and messes with the fuel rods. It's got everything. You can die in that place. There's places you go and there's a straight vertical drop.
So just for maybe some of the newer players, and then even for Scott too, why don't you explain what a milsim operation is and how it works? This is the ultimate LARPing, by the way.
Yeah, tell me, because I have no idea.
Well, milsim, you have the sport of Airsoft, and it actually really started based around milsim, which was kind of the highest level of just trying to replicate military operations. An American milsim ran this event, which is great.
And milsim stands for military simulation.
Military simulation, yeah.
Cool.
So essentially, what is it? It's top of the line. You have the gear, the equipment. You have the structural organization of people, squads, different squads, and units and platoons and stuff like that. And you have a scenario given. Team force like Cost or UFS holds this area of the AO. And of course, each team has its objectives, and there's different sub-objectives in different areas, whether to capture intel or to capture HVT.
Hundreds of grown men dressed up, playing soldier in a very organized.
It's awesome.
It's the best thing ever.
And what's cool, if I know a lot of, and here's the thing, I've been stuck on the East Coast for a while, and I've played Airsoft in Japan. I've played Airsoft here on the West Coast, in CQB places, and out in the woods. I've played on the East Coast. I can tell you. A lot of the guys on the West Coast need to look into what the milsim community is doing, because the sport, and trust me, we love Speedsoft and everything, but milsim it's amazing. And I think the guys on the East Coast are very lucky to have so many milsim offs and everything. And I know you guys get crazy excited when you guys get to go to Irene.
I just went to Irene, and that was amazing. Yeah, that was great. Maybe do you have a favorite moment from Faded Giant or
Faded Giant? I was teamed up with Jet Desert Fox.
Because I've heard some of the stories from his side, but I want to hear it from your side.
He and I were two teamed, and there was a couple times where we kind of went off to do our own thing, and with some of the Elite Force guys, the Airsoft Obsessed, and we found ourselves in a perfect position to flank a whole bunch of enemy guys. That happened twice. First time, Jet, for a guy who's 6 feet tall, Filipino, he's like a ninja, dude. This guy can sneak in anywhere. And they just weren't looking in this one direction, and we managed to find an opening. He goes up, and this is on the side of the building, kills one guy who just happened to be by himself. We sneak in the back door, and now we're in this big giant room that's in the main facility. And on the other side, there's a couple bad guys. And we kind of crouch duck walk, essentially. There's a reason they do that in the tests when you go into the military, to make sure you can duck walk, because it's actually freaking useful. So we duck walk up to the low wall, Jet gives us the command. We pop up, start killing those guys. But they unfortunately they medic themselves and were able to kind of overtake our position. But that was pretty cool. And then the second time, we ended up flanking through that area and popping out. And we cracked the door open. We could see there's just tons of guys stacked up on this wall, like over there. We're like, all right. And Jet's like, all right, we're gonna go do this. So he and I are gonna sneak up and get to a wall that's a little closer. He peeks around. He's like, all right, there's 2 of them. We're gonna shoot him. Then he peeks back again. He's like, okay, there's a lot more of them, so just shoot all of them. I was like, okay, gotcha. And then we did the high low, and that's great because you get to use tactics and everything. We high low around the corner. We both come around. I'm high. I'm pretty sure he's low, and we just light them all up. And then we even go up that wall, and some guy's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he's like, "Oh," and then the Jet's like, "Bang, bang, safe to kill." Safe to kill.
he didn't know. You guys were so far behind it in your lines, they had no idea.
We were so far behind him that they had no idea we were there. And then I ended up getting killed, and Jet went on like I think he went on like that might have been a different time, but Jet did just watch his videos. He did some crazy stuff that faded.
So that whole scenario, how many guys would you estimate that you guys flanked around?
It was probably like 5 or 6, something like that. Because there was a couple guys already dead.
Okay.
I mean, when we looked around, we didn't take long to look. We were just like, guys over there, bad guys, lots of bad guys. Like shoot them all. Like,
I like the high low. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it comes in handy in CQB, and it comes in handy when you're doing mount, especially in mount.
Gotcha.
Just because it allows you to, and if you're playing a game pod, it'll come in handy a lot because that place is there's streets and avenues of approach, and everything's gridded off. So by controlling those avenues of approach, you really own a lot of the map.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very cool. We got another question. This one's from Jordan. This is for Scott, but I'm sure if you want to answer it too. What was your favorite boot camp experience?
Yeah, we'll have you go first.
Favorite? I don't know. I have
That
a
was so
favorite.
long ago, but...
Chow?
Yeah, actually, that's the one thing.
Would it be easier if we asked what was the least awful or the easiest? I don't know.
I guess something you remember that's cool.
Graduation? Yeah.
Breakfast.
Yes. Like
Every time you went to Chow was like getting revitalized again. It's the only thing you look forward to, other than sleep. Food,
and that is
sleep.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
Chow to chow.
Pretty much.
If any for you guys, if that question is for somebody going in, don't think about the big picture.
Just think about tomorrow.
Just think about
the next meal. The next meal.
When it's dinner, just think about you just need to make it to breakfast.
Gotcha. Hey, Chris, if you want to join us, grab this. We have one more special guest.
Warfighter Bass.
This is Chris Bass from Warfighter. He's going to be joining us for the last 10 minutes or so. If you guys are not familiar with Chris, he runs an organization called Warfighter.
Hey.
What they do is they help. I don't know if you can squeeze in or maybe squeeze in the back. Yeah, that might work out well.
In the back. No, stay up front.
And they help out vets with Airsoft as a way to kind of have fun and relax and kind of come back into civilian life and stuff like that. Really cool stuff that Chris does. Chris, I don't know if you can chime in because Chris is also a vet. What was your favorite boot camp experience?
Actually, this was kind of embarrassing for me. So in high school, I used to be all about b-boying, breakdancing. So I used to do all that, and then when I got into to boot camp, that kind of that word got to my drill instructors.
Oh no!
And so one day, my senior drill instructor calls me in to his the drill instructor, I forgot the hut or whatever, and he's like, "Do something.
Show me your moves."
This recruit doesn't understand, and he's do something. And so he was like, okay, so I did a little thing, and then he's like, that's pretty cool. If you tell anyone I said that to you, I'll kill you. I'll go outside. I'm like, okay, and that was probably my most memorable moment. But other than that, everything else was pretty miserable.
That's cool. I didn't know that about you. I might have to see if I can get you to.
I used to do that like when we were coming back from Afghanistan. We used to stop at Manas. It's an Air Force base, and they have a bar there. And they used to never let Marines drink there because we would always start fights. But this time they were like,
generally a good idea.
Yeah, right. But they're like, this time, you can have 2 beers. So we all had our 2 beers, and there was this Air Force cat who with the laptop, and he would DJ, right? And that was one of the moments I actually brought it all back. And
nice. That sounds fun.
I'm pretty rusty. I can't can't do it anymore. But
Here's another question for Scott. This is from JWZ. Scott, what has been your experience working with game companies? Has it been enjoyable or just a pain? Who is your favorite company to work with? That's a very in-depth question. I like that. What are your thoughts?
It is, and I'm going to be very. I got to go work with EA next week. So
EA is amazing.
EA is the best company I've ever worked for in my life. No, you know, it's like any other job. You go in there and you do what you're supposed to do, and you have no control over the outcome of it. You do your part right. EA is an amazing, wonderful company, and really not just, you know, they really are, and they keep calling me back. It was nice of them to bring me back in for Battlefield 4 and this new game Havana, which I think is a code name. I don't know if that's even going to be the name of it, but I was not happy with the Warfighter release. I'll tell you that. I don't think any of us were. The game that we all played, the game that you bought, was not what was originally intended in its inception by Greg Goodrich. And unfortunately, none of us will ever be able to play that game. So I'm just glad that the one that was released, that it was released and I got to be a part of it. Was that diplomatic?
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Yeah.
Warfighter was a pretty cool game, but you can definitely tell that they got cut short.
Yeah, it was cool, and it should have been amazing.
Yeah.
Because man,
that game still has a warm spot.
Yeah, you got to work with some amazing, well-trained dudes.
I did. I got to work with SEALs, Delta, Dev Group SEALs, pretty much the who's who of Tier 1.
Everywhere.
That's crazy.
It was
basically
a dream come
idols.
true. Yeah. Superheroes.
Yeah.
Really, when you
real
think
life
about
superheroes.
it, you know, it was. Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Here's a question for all the military folk, so everybody but me. Do you feel that military movies portray what it is like to be in the suck pretty well?
Depends on the it definitely depends on the
Survivor
movie.
does a pretty good job.
I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it. But
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I have read the book. But anyways, I will say that a lot of the I read this somewhere, and it was like the B movies portray soldiers, the A movies portray the war, and I feel that's pretty accurate. A lot of kind of the lower budget movies will focus more on the personal, individual side of what goes on, and a lot of the bigger movies like Saving Private Ryan, We Were Soldiers, those movies will try and focus more on the entire war.
Well, Saving Private Ryan was more about that one squad, though.
Yes, but what they're it's not
Band of Brothers.
It's a metaphorical thing.
Oh my gosh! In the Pacific too. If you saw that, yeah.
If the people who are making the film care about the authenticity and are willing to go through the pains of
I'll agree with
getting the information from the source, having the actors, and actually possibly having some military guys in the film and go through the training and everything.
Yeah, it really is a production.
Then it'll make it that much more authentic and that much better.
Maybe I can make the question a little bit more specific. Why don't you guys each give me or give us what you think is the most true big Hollywood movie, and then also the one that was the least accurate and maybe
true to what happened.
Least accurate, Hurt Locker.
Least,
yeah.
Why?
The Hurt Locker was
they took a lot of liberties.
Yes.
You don't just sneak off base to do whatever the hell you want.
I think Sharknado was more.
Really, I didn't know, because I like the Hurt Locker and just being
it's entertaining, but
the
it's
Hurt
not
Locker is like infamous within the military as being like
Black Hawk Down.
Terrible.
Black Hawk Down was pretty.
I'm gonna say
was accurate or was not accurate.
Was
okay.
I would say, I mean, because I've heard Dynamic Knight said it was like 70% accurate. Like any of these movies, there's always a little dramatization.
not accurate to exactly what happened, but accurate to
like how
what it's like.
I would say Platoon actually, because you see
was accurate or was not accurate.
Was accurate on the individual side.
What about Jarhead? What do you guys think of Jarhead?
Jarhead was like
the book was great.
For me, Jarhead was like, oh, a Marine movie.
I know.
This is totally anti core.
It was.
this just makes me want to get out of the Marine Corps.
Although there were moments.
There were
that it was
moments
spot on that I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
that happened. Oh, burning shitters. Yeah.
See, I think that's really
Can I say that?
interesting because like some of these military movies, like I'm maybe a big fan of, but it's interesting to hear you guys say, "Oh, yeah, that wasn't accurate at all," or
Right.
you know,
It's
this
it's
is
the
story
real
and stuff like-
minor. It's the real minor things.
It's small details about the lifestyle that really cue in whether they paid attention to the authenticity and cue like tactics. Because everyone knows how to do generic tactics and all that stuff, but it's like just the little subtle things like the boring parts of the job.
Right.
To be honest,
Yeah.
What I'll say though was like Zero Dark 30's raid. That's
pretty
like
good.
that's pretty
What
much
was it,
how
SEAL Team
raids
3
would
guys
go.
that
I thought it was great.
Which team of guys that helped? I think it was like they had some SEALs on set helping out with that too. Pretty sure.
I'm not sure. I had nothing to do with that film.
Yeah.
But we had a lot, that was the same time we were doing Warfighter, so it might have been some of the same folks. But, although they got in trouble for working with us.
That sucks.
All those guys got a little letter in there.
Yeah, any of the guys who are
Ridiculous.
still actively in the service of the Department of the Navy got a little slap on the hand.
They did.
It's funny. They're
which
probably
sucks.
going, yeah. Well, here's my combat deployments. So
Pretty much, if you want to be doing stuff like Hollywood stuff, you got to make sure you're out of the military.
Right, or you have
first,
permission.
Or you have permission, yeah. But Active Valor was a perfect thing of the DoD going ahead with a production.
I loved Active Valor.
Active Valor was
you
great.
actually remember David B. Johnson?
Yeah.
I was actually supposed to be on his show, but I couldn't because I was still active duty and I
Yeah.
couldn't get the approval. So
Somebody said, what about Full Metal Jacket?
Ooh, Full Metal Jacket.
That's a good, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Boot camp.
It's a classic.
That was-
Boot camp was-
And you know what's funny? The military is as much as these movies feed off the military feeds off these movies as well.
It's
Because
true.
you can't go to basic training and then everyone doesn't talk about like Full Metal Jacket and like it's a cycle too. It's so the movie culture and how things are perceived it feeds into modern day basic training as well. It's really crazy how it fits in.
But Full Metal Jacket was like two different movies.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Boot Camp and Vietnam are like two very different films from
Yeah.
each other. I think that I was never in Vietnam, so I can't say how accurate that part was. But yeah, Boot Camp, that was pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Lee Ermey. of
Yeah.
course. Like,
Yeah.
You can't
Iconic.
go wrong there.
Yeah.
Johnny,
absolutely.
hey, he's gonna be at SHOT Show.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get an autograph from that guy.
Yeah, he's
Very cool.
awesome.
So yeah, SHOT Show's coming up next week, so that's
SHOT
going to be a
Show?
lot of cool stuff that I know a bunch of us are going, and we're very excited. But we are actually out of time, sadly. So
Oh no.
this has been
Sad face.
a lot of fun.
Sad face.
Thank you guys all very much for coming
Thank
out
you.
and joining us on our live
Thank
show. Next week we'll probably try to get back more to a lot more Q&A. But I think this was a lot of fun bringing you guys on and even
Yeah.
talking about the video games and movies and stuff like that. And it's been a good time. So this has been our live show of January 7th, 2014. Yeah, 2014. Very cool. We have Greg, Chris, and Scott. Hope you guys liked it, and we will see you guys next week. All right.
So is it off?
Give it a second before you say anything too
Yeah.
too obscene, Chris. It's probably
I'll
still
have to
streaming
tell
right
you
now.
my
Subscribe to
story
Spark
of what happened.
172W.
Oh, my.
Yeah, Warfighter.
Is that a
Really,
sign that
quick
says
shout
my
out to
show?
yourself. Shout out to myself. Subscribe to Spartan.
Subscribe.
Let me see this
Subscribe.
gun.